There's no recorded history. It's all oral history. According to the old stories, Bahia sent him down, selected him to teach his people.
This film is about the history of the Northern Cheyenne people and the survival of our nation. Stems from a piece of spirituality that is as a part of our oral tradition.
That man, he was so powerful, you know.
To the Suddat people. And the sweet medicine and street horns had the same power that was given to them by our Creator.
The goal was to show our people that we don't have to accept, what has been given to us, what has been inherited to us. And there are ways to change. We can change, and it takes a matter of understanding our philosophy of peace, our philosophies of understanding, the human relationship to each other and the human relationship to the earth and the natural elements. It's the topic that I'm writing my dissertation on for graduate school to get my PhD in American Indian Studies here at the University of Arizona. What we're finding is that it's a spiritual problem. And how do we share that with the community, with especially the young people, was the question that I posed. And we can write books, we can write dissertations, but we need a form of media that the young people can pay attention to, and that's television, and that's through the media. I went home for Christmas break to film this, and I did all the filming in the span of 2 weeks. So the filming, I thought it was a difficult part until I got to the editing. So it was a lot of work. It became a huge part of my life. I wanted it to be cut and clean and to look good from my perspective. It really took up a lot of my time, but it was for a good cause, for a good reason. And I think that's what my motivation was always there, that this is something that is going to help someone. I mean, it may not be just our native people, our tribe, but I think it's good. It'd be good for everyone, anyone who's ever had to experience politics or a history in their own life. I think it'll help. It'll be inspiring, to know that we're not alone, that we're all human.
That's the highest. You've been chosen by the people. You said, I'm going to give up my life to service the people.
I think an outsider would have told an entirely different story. A lot of times outsiders focus on Indians and the history in the past, and that our philosophies and our spirituality really don't have any value in the modern world. There are things in the past. I think they would have told a different story that wouldn't have paid as much attention to the contemporary issues and the contemporary problems of our people. Our spirituality and our culture that is historical, is ancient. Those teachings of peace, virtue, generosity, kindness, humbleness, all those virtues can be applied and should be applied in modern day, not just in our culture, but in every culture. Probably the most rewarding thing out of this project would be to know that our stories would be told from our perspective, from our people's perspective. And it would be shared not only to the world, but in particular to our people who need to hear these stories the most.